I've seen them win 7 out of 9 games prior to the game tonight, and obviously, like I say, we frustrated them for long spells, but ultimately what happens in both boxes is what counts, and we've missed quite a few opportunities this evening, and not done enough to get blocks on shots or stop crosses.
Do you think it's a desire to defend that's lacking in your team?
Yeah, a little bit, and then it's one of them where there's been that many chop and changes because of obviously injuries, illnesses, people being available, not available. It's difficult to have the same sort of back 4, back 5 and get that understanding. I think the sooner we're able to do that will give us certainly a better opportunity to try and keep clean sheets. And I'm not making excuses here. I've just come away from it. I think I've said the same thing I'm going to say to you now probably at least 5 times in the last 8 games, or 8 losses, sorry, where the opposition have done nowhere near enough to win the game. And that's what frustrates me, because we've limited the opposition to very few chances and they score goals, and it's difficult for a manager to accept, because you get them organised, you get them set up in a way that can frustrate and hurt the opposition, and we did that. What we didn't do, we didn't score the first goal, and once we got the equaliser in the game, we never went on and stepped on the front foot to try and get the winner.
How do you drill that desire into the players?
It's difficult, because obviously there's young players within there that they have to learn, and the only way they learn is by going through the experiences tonight. So I think it's one of them where they have to get themselves in a moment like they did tonight again and do better. And what we can do is we can show them what better option what it looks like, whether that's stopping a cross, whether that's getting up to block a shot, whatever it may be, we can show them. And then obviously the reality is at some point they've got to experience that again, and the only way you experience that again is by playing. So it's difficult at times, because obviously that's the risk element, but unfortunately we haven't got any other options.
Obviously you've been in relegation battles as a manager, and obviously you've had battling times as a player as well. Do you feel you've got enough battling qualities in that dressing room?
Whether there's enough battling qualities or not, there's enough quality, and I'd like to think that in certain games that quality will shine through. It's good to see the likes of Tom Hopper, out there, albeit for 10-15 minutes again, but he's going to be close to a point where he's going to be able to start a game, so that's going to be pleasing. I know Joe Walsh was suspended tonight, but certainly I've mentioned before what he does, he gives us balance, he gives us aggression. So them 2 players especially, on top of 1 or 2 others in the team, I'd like to think there's enough in there to see us through games.
And are you wanting those players and also some other players to stand up and take games by the scruff of the neck, and to take their teammates by the scruff of the neck, not in a literal sense, but to go, come on, let's at 1-1 tonight, let's keep hold of what we've got? Yeah,
absolutely. And by the way, I wouldn't mind in a literal sense as well, so don't get me wrong. I quite miss at times a little bit of a tear up in the dressing room or on the pitch, because you need it. It means you care and you want to do it. I was joking, the last time I was here as a player, I lost in a playoff semi-final. I had Jason Roberts and Lee Hughes up against the wall, both of them, because I didn't think they did enough in the game and we didn't get through to the final. And I don't see any of our players being able to do that.
And is that just modern day football, do you think?
Possibly. You have to be careful sometimes what you say. I try to be measured at times when I can. Doesn't always happen. I think sometimes in the cold light of day, the day after or a couple of days later, when you can watch the game back and the emotions are a little bit less raw, you can give a better valued opinion on what happened and how we can be better. But sometimes players need to see that emotion, and I think there was 1 or 2 in there obviously who were clearly upset about how it went, because there was the thing that's frustrating about games like tonight is there's so much good that happened tonight and it'll be forgotten about. So that first half especially, we should have been 2 or 3 up, and that'll be forgotten about, because obviously we've lost the game to a side that are obviously on a good run.
Going to the weekend, results have gone your way tonight, and it's a huge game, isn't it, in the run-in that we're into now?
Yeah, no, every game's massive, to be fair. We know roughly, what we need to pick up, obviously, to make sure that you know, we stay where we are, and listen, I'm confident enough that will happen. But it's just, you know, ultimately we have to sort of stand up and start doing it very, very quickly. And the fact that it's a home game brings that little bit of an added pressure. I hope the players take it on board. I hope they enjoy that feeling, because if they're going to progress, if they're going to get better as individuals and as a group, they have to thrive on these moments. Nobody wants us, and including me, to be in this position we're in a minute. But what it does is it creates players. It really does. You know, it puts you in almost a pressure pot situation. You know, sometimes if you're in mid-table and you're safe, and you know, it become a little bit easy at times. And whereas these type of situations, they make and break players, and it'll be important that if we're going to have a few players here that are going to be with us next season, to see if they can handle it.